Hey everybody and welcome to a new video, and today we're doing the WWE figure evolution of CM Punk. One of the most requested videos lately on the channel, so I definitely wanted to get that one out. And I would say without any further ado, we just start right off. And the first CM Punk Elite that we ever got was in the very first Elite wave, which of course was Elite Series 1. So CM Punk was in the first wave, which is pretty surprising. Kind of an achievement, but yet MVP was in the wave too. So, but that MVP actually was pretty cool, that looked great. But here we have the CM Punk, and that kind of did represent his attire from 2008 when he teamed up with Kofi Kingston. And at some point that figure got really rare, and I remember I picked it up in 2010 when it was still pretty cheap. And it's a pretty cool attire, I really do like it. The head scan is alright, I wouldn't say it's too great, but it kind of represents Punk from that time period. So I'm pretty much fine with that. And yeah, it also came with a shirt that I don't have here in the video, because the shirts, the early shirts by Mattel, they were really bad quality. I really didn't like that. They did look kind of weird in the figures. So they kind of got better once they used the new material of cloth. So yeah, they weren't really good. But overall, the CM Punk is a really cool Elite figure. I'm still glad that I have one loose and one mark of these. And yeah, pretty cool Punk for the first one. And I would move on to the second one, and that is the Elite Series 6 CM Punk. And that was the attire from his World Championship run that he had in 2009. This attire is actually based on a Breaking Point in 2009, which was a really weak show. I do remember that I was just a WWE fan for about a year at that point, and that was the really first pay-per-view that I was really disappointed in, because it had Punk versus The Undertaker in the main event, and it was like a really short match, and it ended in like a shitty finish where the referee said The Undertaker tapped, but The Undertaker didn't tap, and it was really bad. At that point I didn't really dislike WWE shows at all. I thought everything was awesome, but at that show I really didn't like. But let's speak about the figure here itself. Like I said, it's based on a Breaking Point 2009 from the submission match with The Undertaker. I really do like the blue, it looks awesome. The kick pads have like some kind of different blue tone there, which makes it stand out a bit more. I think that looks really awesome. The head scan is pretty much alright. That was like before Punk got the bigger beard and stuff. So that's pretty cool. Got that one white elbow pad. And yeah, pretty cool looking CM Punk. This also came with a shirt, but like I said, the early shirts from Mattel didn't look that great. So I don't have it here for the video. And moving on to the next CM Punk Elite figure, and that was actually an exclusive Elite figure, and that was from the All-Stars 2-packs line. It was the All-Stars video game, and they brought out exclusive All-Star 2-packs, which featured 2 Elite figures, kind of fantasy matchup, and they had a CM Punk and Stone Cold Steve Austin pack, which got really rare at the end. But this featured CM Punk's yellow attire, which is really sought after, because of course that is also the attire he wore for the pipe bomb, so everyone kind of wanted to make a pipe bomb Punk. But that is actually the only figure that has the yellow kick pads and trunks here, so that makes this figure kind of rare. It has the same head scan as Elite 6. It's pretty much the same figure as Elite 6, besides the kick pads and the trunks being yellow. So I really do like that. Here we can take a look at my 2 fix-ups that I have based on the Pipe Bomb and a Survivor Series when he faced the Wyatt family with Daniel Bryan. I gotta have these attires, man. I really dig that yellow look, so I had to make those fix-ups. Next off, we actually have another exclusive, and this time it was a Ringside Collectibles exclusive, Straight Edge Society CM Punk with the mask. Now this was when Rey Mysterio shaved his head at Over the Limit 2009. But this is like kind of a mix, because it's the Over the Limit attire where Ray shaved his head, but it also comes with the mask already that he kind of wore later on, and then Big Show kind of unmasked him on a SmackDown episode. So it's like not really accurate, because it's like the Over the Limit attire with like a mask from later on. But I don't really mind it, because the attire looks really great. I really do like this army look. And then the mask, of course, is removable. Underneath is a new CM Punk head skin that looked really good. And the mask itself was really cool. I really am happy to have like a CM Punk with the mask. He did wear that for quite some time, I believe. I don't really remember how long, but he did wear it for some time. And yeah, makes for a really cool figure. He also got the SES on the kick pads. So that was really cool. Kind of looks really great with the Elite 9 Luke Gallows if you display them together. And that also is a really rare figure at the moment. So yeah, some of the Punk Elites really have some value to them. And next off, we have the new Nexus CM Punk, as I like to call it. It's the Elite 11, and that came with a new Nexus shirt, which again wasn't really good quality. It did kind of make the figure look worse, in my opinion. But yeah, this is the first time they added the new tats to CM Punk. At this point, they weren't fully colored yet, because it was like kind of an early release, and they didn't have the full tattoo yet. So I don't know why, but that just was how it was. And this figure, once it came out, it sold so quickly, and it went on eBay immediately for like 150 bucks after Ringside sold out. And there was such a demand for this figure, because this was shortly after the Money in the Bank 2011 show, which of course featured the CM Punk John Cena championship match, which was like one of the greatest matches of all time. That was like one of the hottest periods of wrestling in the modern era, I would say. I absolutely loved it. And yeah, everyone wanted to have a Punk to represent this kinda, so it even kinda matched the Money in the Bank attire. It looks kinda similar. But yeah, I had that new head scan, so that looked pretty good in my opinion for that time. And yeah, attire is pretty sweet as well. And yeah, it was just so exciting to have this Punk back in the day. And yeah, good memories about this figure. And next off, we have the actual Money in the Bank 2011 Punk. That is of course from Elite Series 16, and that comes with a good shirt. That looks actually really good on him. It's the Best in the World shirt that he wore there at Money in the Bank. Had that new head scan, which then they used a couple of times after that as well. It looked good to me. And of course, the Money in the Bank attire, which is such an iconic attire. You definitely need to have that in figure form. One of the greatest matches in recent history, I must say. And yeah, such a cool figure. I don't even think it's too expensive on eBay right now. So if you want to pick one up for yourself, you definitely should. I think it's definitely a piece of history, at least in my eyes. So really cool CM Punk right here. Moving on, we got the Build-A-Figure Ricardo Rodriguez CM Punk. That was the WrestleMania 28 set. And that was from Punk's WWE Championship match that he had with Chris Jericho. And that attire is kind of cool. It's like kind of special. He didn't wear that too often. I think he wore it a couple times on Raw also. But WrestleMania 28 was the first time he ever wore this. And it looks really cool. It's different look for Punk. Doesn't really look too similar to his other attires. And it came with a WWE Championship, of course. That was kind of from a period where Punk wasn't too hot anymore. It was like he turned face again, and I think from there it kind of went downhill again. But yeah, it's a really cool figure still. And I would say let's move on to the next one, which is the Elite 20 CM Punk. And that featured a new head scan, the more smiling head scan. And I really do like that head scan. I do think it's better than the Elite 16 head scan. And as you can see, it also has like the full color tat that the Elite 16 also had, of course. To me, it might be one of the weakest Punk Elites, just because the attire isn't like too special in my opinion. Even though it looks really good, I'm still happy to have it. The blue actually looks good. I don't know what I'm really saying, but I don't know, it's like the weakest Elite Punk in my opinion. Still a really good figure though. And moving on, we have the Wrestlemania 29 CM Punk, which was a part of the Build-A-Figure Paul Heyman line. And I did a head swap on that because the original head scan was freaking horrible. You can see that here in the image right there. It was horrible. So I decided to swap head scans on it. And this is actually a head scan from a Super Striker, or however they were called. That head scan wasn't released on a basic or elite, but I did think it fit the Punk WrestleMania 29 look really well, so I decided to buy that figure just for the head scan. And I think it looks really good on the this Elite Punk. It's of course based on the match with Undertaker. He has like the Undertaker attire, which is just awesome. That was a really great match as well. What people say was the true main event of WrestleMania 29, even though Punk wanted the real main event spot. Triple H said you did have the real main event with Undertaker out there, and Punk kind of laughed that off as that not being the real main event, and he didn't make as much money as the other main event guys did. So yeah, but still really cool figure. Really happy to have that. It also came with the urn. Like, the urn was a big part of that match because Paul Bearer died before, like shortly before that match happened. So that was kind of involved in the storyline. It was kind of tasteless at some point, but it still was really entertaining, I gotta say that. So yeah, really cool CM Punk figure right there. And then we actually have another Build-A-Figure CM Punk. That is from the Build-A-Figure Jim Ross set. And I also swapped the head scans on there, and now you might say this is not a real figure evolution if you swap the head scans, but I just think it looks a lot better like this. So this is the Build-A-Figure Jim Ross series CM Punk, and that is actually the Money in the Bank attire. That is the night where Paul Heyman turned on CM Punk, and it is like the red and white look, and it looks really cool. And with the Elite 29 head scan on here, it looks a lot better than it did with the original one in my opinion too. So this is a really cool figure. And also pretty notably here, this is the first CM Punk Elite that got small knee pads, and I don't know why they always gave him big knee pads anyways. It was impossible to do the GTS, and he didn't really have that big of knee pads anyways. So yeah, pretty happy that they finally made the switch here. But yeah, it's a really cool looking Punk. And moving on to the next one, which is actually the final Elite CM Punk figure that we got, and it was from Elite 29, and it came with a hoodie for the very first time, which was really exciting at that point. We did not expect to see something like that because Mattel always said cloth accessories are too expensive, and we were lucky if we got like something like a cloth shirt. But then they came out with this hoodie for the Elite 29 Punk, and that was really awesome. Now this is not based on any pay-per-view. I think that is like a Raw attire. He did wear the trunks in the Brock Lesnar SummerSlam match, but he also had kick pads that were painted, so it was a bit different. But still, this figure looks really cool with the hoodie especially. Head scan is the same, like I swapped onto the Best of Pay-Per-View JR Punk. But yeah, this is really cool. And actually, there was another Elite CM Punk that did come out, and I still have that in the box. It's the Ringside exclusive ECW Punk. That was the very last Punk release. It came with the ECW Championship, and that was also a really cool figure. But I didn't want to open that just for this video, because I usually keep my Ringside exclusives mint in the box. But yeah, that was the evolution, the WWE Elite figure evolution of CM Punk. I hope you did enjoy this. He had quite a lot of Elite figures, as I can see here. So that is pretty cool, but Punk had a lot of cool attires. I hope we someday get there, like with guys like AJ Styles, who also has like really cool attires. So hope he gets as many attires as Punk did. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave me a like. That would be really appreciated. As always, guys, subscribe if you haven't yet. Watch another Figure Evolution if you like these videos. I already did all 3 Shield members. And of course, I'm looking to continue this series in the future. You already gave some great suggestions for future episodes. Kofi Kingston is kind of high on the list, surprisingly. And John Cena, I don't think I have every single John Cena loose, so we gotta figure out something there. So yeah, but still, let me know who you want to see next on Figure Evolution. And like I said, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.